must provide cover for a long-term holiday. Set off the alarm and keep the infested busy. A steady stream of toxic spores is being released into the area. Hold on.
Nice throw!
Hi there! Have you heard of the Falcor? This thing used to be my favorite melee weapon, but ever since the Zorus was added and kind of overstepped its entire niche of being the electric glaive, featuring a larger AoE on its heavy detonation, higher crit stats, faster attack speed, as well as infinite combo duration pausing, even though the Falcor does have higher base damage and higher status chance, it really couldn't compete. Since the Zorus was given to you for free after completing a quest, it had these better stats, and with a lower mastery rank, there really was no reason to grab the Falcor. Now, imagine my surprise when the Whispers in the Wall update comes along and introduces melee influence, and suddenly the Falcor's not so bad anymore. See, the Falcor has two little quirks with it that aren't listed in the stats page but make a huge difference when using this glaive with melee influence. First, a very tight homing angle, seeking out enemies basically across entire tile sets, and even allowing you to shoot blindly through doorways and attack everything in an entire tile. Additionally, it also has infinite body punch through. Notably, this cannot be removed by using volatile quick return, which is incredible, because normally this disables punch through, but it doesn't on this weapon. I don't know why, but it makes it significantly better. That being said, the intro clips you all saw were using this build, which is a Ricochet build focused around volatile rebound. With this mod, every single time the glaive bounces across any surface or sometimes enemies, it will explode, dealing a large electric pock to everybody in the area, which then is triggered by melee influence to apply to everybody in another further 20 meters. This sets off a pretty ridiculous chain reaction event, where you can just keep on throwing your glaive and everything down any hallway you choose dies. It really doesn't matter. You just pick a direction, blindly fire, the homing will get it there, and the melee influence will get everyone else. Additionally, if you're not using a Riven or just want to push your damage even further, do note that glaive explosions will double dip on damage buffing abilities such as Chroma's Vex Armors, Octavia's Metronome Forte buff, and Limbo's Rift Torrent. All of these for some reason cause the glaive damage to skyrocket. I don't really know why, but let me just show that in practice. Here we've got Chroma. Let me summon in some of these guys. Don't pause the AI so that they can kill me. And yeah, these guys have like 52 million EHP, and that was one glaive throw. And this isn't even the heavy attack build, this is just the light attack build. It's pretty stupid. You use this in any content, whatever, and it annihilates. Let me show that again, without the Riven this time, just to prove that you don't need a Riven for this, although given how high the disposition is, you might want to consider one, because they are pretty cheap, and they're very useful. Let's try that again. Alright, they didn't die in one, they'll die in two. There we are. Again, doesn't take much. This thing is pretty ridiculous, and if you play any of those 3 frames or some other ones, I'm not sure. I don't have the entire list of additive damage buffs off the top of my head. But basically anything that adds damage in the same way that Pressure Point would, kind of, again, like Vex Armor or the Rift Torrent or the Forte buff, all seem to do multiplicative effects with this. Obviously Roar also is multiplicative, like a faction damage bonus off of the electricity proc this time. So there's a ton of ways that you can buff this. It really just depends on what frame you want to choose. I again chose Zephyr because I like Zephyr, and she doesn't provide a ton, but it doesn't really matter because the Falcor is so strong it doesn't care. Alright, now to the controversial part. I'm here to argue, although it is up to you to ultimately decide, that the Falcor is better than the Zorus. In the background here, I'm going to be playing a clip of me using no buffs on Limbo to just try to do a very accurate damage test between the Zorus and the Falcor. Here, I'm basically just trying to figure out which one has the better time to kill. Both of the builds I show will require no Rivens, and they'll basically be the exact same build. Obviously, I know that the Zorus can do some things that the Falcor absolutely can't. Its combo pausing ability is incredible for a Tennokai build, and that's probably what you'd want to use anyways for that specifically. However, I think for heavy spam builds, and especially for Ricochet builds, Falcor beats it out just because while the Zorus has a larger blast radius, it explodes immediately on impact with the first enemy it touches in a group, meaning that you will get knocked over, or you just won't be able to take advantage of that full range in the same way that the Falcor can. See, the Falcor with its infinite body punch through is able to pierce every enemy on its path to the center of a group, allowing you to detonate the heavy glaive explosion immediately whenever you want to. This is great because it lets you take advantage of the full 9 meters radius with the volatile quick return mod, unlike the Zorus, which although it has 12 meters of radius, really can't reach that far since you need to aim it above a crowd to actually get it to explode around the middle of it. Obviously, this isn't taking into account Riven mods, which also play a huge part. The Falcor's disposition is literally double that of the Zorus, allowing for Riven mods to be significantly stronger than it. With that being said, I think that for most build types that you would normally run with the glaive, the Zorus is just beaten out by the Falcor now. Obviously, there is still the somewhat niche Tennokai heavy and light mixing attack build, which uses the Zorus' combo count pause ability to use those Tennokai hits at maximum power, but that's something that not a lot of players are going to go for, and for general use and brainless spam, the Falcor kind of beats it out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the video. I'll be looking forward to getting more back into video creation. Have been on a bit of a hiatus. Again, as I said in a community post, I've been playing other games, Monumenta especially, and I'll talk about it eventually. Might be interested in branching out into other things besides my Orbiter decoration videos. Maybe some other Warframe things, maybe some other games, I'm not sure. But for now, I'm back with the Whispers in the Walls, and I'd love to hear what you think about the Zorus and Falcor.